Welcome to another Pirkei Avot Shir. We are on chapter 4. We're about to start Mishna 6, and we'd like to dedicate this episode in memory of Levy ben Moshe ben Esther and Elisheva Yael ben Levy, and also Yehuda ben Moshe ben Esther. Over to Michael.
So this Mishnah, we are introduced to Rabbi Yishmael, who was the son of Rabbi Yochanan ben Barakah from the last Mishnah. He was a Tana of the 2nd century, a contemporary of Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel II, with whom we find having frequent discussions in the Talmud. His name is associated with about 24 halachot, but only seldom with the interpretations or narrative accounts of Agadah. In Avos, the Rav Nosson, who, as we know, which is the book, a kind of parallel Pirkei Avot, another version of Pirkei Avot, he is quoted as counselling that a pious man should not dwell in the neighbourhood of the wicked man, as he might also suffer the punishment as directed at his neighbour. So, what does this Mishnah say? Let's start it. Rabbi Yishmael Beno Omer. Rabbi Yishmael, his son, says, Halomed al manat lelamed, one who learns in order to teach, Masfikim biyodo lilmod v'lalmed, will be enabled to learn and to teach. V'halomed al manat la'asot, but the one who learns in order to practice, Masfikim biyodo lilmod v'lalmed lishma ula'asot, he will be enabled to learn and to teach, to observe and to practice. So, what? Let's look at the word for labor, to work, la'amal. We read in Job 5:7, man is born to labor, la'amal. The 4 letters of the Hebrew word la'amal can be the beginnings of words suggested by our Mishnah, lilmod al manat lalamed, to study in order to teach, and again lilmod al manat la'asot, to study in order to do. This is the key labor, toil and strife for which we are born, to master the Torah so as to teach it and practice it. This is our purpose in life. Actually, Rabbi Yishmael's words suggest 3 different levels, attitudes and approaches to Torah study, each with its own emphasis. And in almost every generation, all 3 types will be found. One man would study Torah lishma. He has a love of sacred learning for its own sake. Quite simply, he wishes to immerse his mind and consciousness in the words of Hashem, primarily in search of understanding. He can range far and wide over the broad expanse of Torah, examining different views, seeking clarity, a grasp of the fundamentals, and a mastery of the whole. He can take his time and penetrate to the depths. His only limitation will be the reach and capacity of his own mind. Another will learn in order to teach. He will strive above all for the intelligibility and lucidity, since he must be able to transmit his understanding to others. He will seek out pedagogical aims that vivify and enliven his lesson material. He will use analogies, examples, and illustrative material. Furthermore, the teacher of Torah will not only explain lessons, he must also inculcate lasting attitudes. He seeks to convey not information alone, but also age-old beliefs. He will select his elements and materials with care, gauging their appeal. In addition, he will ascertain the level of understanding of his students, and in presenting a new material, he will work from what they already know and comprehend. This is the way of a teacher. Then there is the person who will be neither scholar nor teacher, but he who studies only to know how the mitzvot should be performed. His will be another approach altogether, and with quite different emphasis. Like the scholar, he will work to master the Mishna and Gemara and the various codes of law. But the destination, the goal towards which he moves, is halacha. the normative law and accepted practice. Above all, he will strive to determine the final authoritative decision on any given question. His quest is to know religious law in all its details and ramification, as an authoritative guide to the mitzvot that he observes. All three Torah approaches to Torah study are worthwhile and commendable. It is for each person to choose and follow that sector of sacred learning which is in accordance and harmony with his particular interest. As the Chachomim advise in Avodah Zohar, Daf 19 Amud Aleph, ever should a man learn the Torah at that place in it which is his heart desires, the part or aspect of our sacred heritage which best suits his temperament. And that concludes the Mishna 6 of Perek 4.
Thank you very much, Michael. That was very interesting. Next time we convene, we're going to be doing the 7th Mishnah, which is Rabbi Tzadok. And until then, have a wonderful and blessed week.